Hey guys, JB here. Little vlog today, a little walk around kind of where I live. This is Parkland, Florida, but I want to address some questions. So it's going to be kind of a bloggy question and answer thing. People are asking me, come on JB, please tell me what to buy. So I'm going to give you just my opinions on the devices that are in the market now and why I use what I use. You can take it for what it's worth, but I know it's going to help some people and really help them understand these devices. By the way, so take a look at it. We got a really nice Tuscany feel out here. You can kind of see this is where I talk about I play a lot of golf. This is actually kind of where we come out to and where I do my events. This is my event and retreat center over here to the right. And then as we come out here, you can kind of see our 18th hole as we come out here. Just share a little bit of South Florida beauty with you today as we come out here. By the way, I'm shooting on the DJI Pocket using the external microphone that they come with it in case you're wondering about the technology. I kind of like this little device, especially for these type of vloggy things. It's kind of cool. We got a little wind out here today. We got a little tropical storm coming, but you can kind of see the beauty of Parkland in South Florida today. And then we have our pool over here. But I do my retreats and events for my corporate stuff that I do and for my life coaching stuff in my business right here in this building. We've got rooms that can fit 300 people, and I got a room that can fit 30 or 40, and then a smaller room that can fit 10 or 20, so it's pretty cool. But let's get into talking about these devices, and I apologize if we're getting a little wind noise there. I've got my microphone on, I don't have a windscreen. But so let's get into it. So reMarkable 2, obviously one of my favorite devices. It is a note taker. So a lot of people who have not used e-ink, and I'm gonna get out of this wind, a lot of people that have not used e-ink, the problem they have is they're looking for an iPad, e-ink iPad. I'm just gonna call it what it is. I know that because that's what I get a lot of people asking. Can it do OneNote? Can it do different applications? Can we get stuff working with it? And the truth is, no. The reMarkable 2 is one thing, a paper replacement. It's a minimal reader. People say, what does that mean? Well, it can read PDFs, it can read books. It's not really great at it. I have a Kobo Forma. That's what I use for reading. On my books, I'm reading on the Kobo. I don't like it to read with, but I do love it to take notes with. What are the downsides of it? Well, one of them is customer service is not really that great. I hear a lot of people like they break buttons and stuff and they can't get it replaced, and there's issues with that. And I think that's just one of the negatives that you got to deal with reMarkable is be very careful. Don't lose your stylus. Try not to break the thing because you're not going to get a lot of replacement and help with that, okay? The second device that I love is the paper device. The paper device is by QuirkLogic. I love it. I think the writing feel, they really caught up. It was really slow, and now it writes almost as good as the reMarkable 2. It's got a great feel to it. It's a bigger device. It's really my second in my arsenal. I'll use my reMarkable 1 for planning, use my my paper device, QuirkLogic paper device for a lot of notes for my shows, for my podcast, and those type of things, content that I'm putting together. And I read a book on it recently. Their reader, I think, is a little bit better than the reMarkable 2, but it's still not great. I'm not gonna read too many books on it. A friend of mine wrote a book, he wanted me to read it. I brought it in the paper and it worked out pretty good. And their new software update really makes it nice. What are the negatives with the paper? Well, and let me say another positive. The customer service is off the charts. The company is really working hard to connect with people and work with them. The negatives are the technology that they use, the Sony DPT technology. It works, but it's really old. It's 4 or 5 years old now. And what's going to be interesting is Sony is creating some new technology, and I'm interested to see if QuirkLogic jumps on that. I'm going to reach out to them. I actually was supposed to talk to them last week, but to see what is their product pathway. Is there a new device coming out? Because the Fujitsu Quaderno, which uses the same platform, did come out with a new device. So if they do, it may become a reMarkable 2 killer to me. I won't say it ever will replace my reMarkable 2 because I do love the form factor of it as a note taker. But again, as a note taker, it's right there. It's pretty good. That brings us to SuperNote. So I have the SuperNote A5X. I have the SuperNote. As many of you know, I buy a lot of these devices to test them out and use them in my business, in day-to-day application. SuperNote, again, a good device. You really got to get a feel for it. I don't use it in full disclosure. I own it. I have it. I don't use it. I use the Papyr and the reMarkable 2. And I think sometimes having that discussion of actually what I'm using instead of just reviewing is important, right? So I have it, it's okay. If I didn't have the reMarkable 2 or the Papyr, I'd probably be using that. And that brings me to the most complicated ones for me, which is the Boox products. So I have a lot going on. I'm busy, obviously doing events, a lot of things happening. And so the Boox products for me are just a little too complex. I don't use them. I don't like the note-taking I don't think it's as intuitive. It works, like you can make it work. I don't like the styluses that come with the Boox products. I think you got to buy another stylus. For reading and stuff, it's okay. If you're looking for something that is a little bit more iPad-ish with Android and could do other things than just take notes, then the Boox products are great. Here's the deal though. They're not going to do OneNote. Some of the Android apps work, some of them don't. The reader on it's pretty good. I'm not going to dog the Boox products because I actually like them. Again, it comes down to me of what I'm going to use, right? What do I use day in and day out? And that's what I'm sharing with you. It would be the reMarkable 2 or the Papyr device. And then I have the Boox. I have the Boox Nova Color. And I don't know. I just never really fell in love with their systems. And it's just a little more complex. It's just not easy. It just doesn't work. Where the reMarkable 2, man, I just grab that thing and I just run with it and I just take my notes. I can email them to people. My files and folders are organized. If you watch my video, you can watch how I organize my stuff. And it just works. So here's the bottom line. What are you looking for? Okay, if you're looking for a note taker, then I would say reMarkable 2 or Papyr. Papyr is a little more expensive. That's a negative for it, right? For sure, those two, maybe Supernote. If you're looking for more, like trying to combine all this stuff, then I would go with the Boox. But you got to realize nothing is going to work fantastic. Everything is going to work good. And I think that's the big thing for me. Like none of these devices, there's not one device where I say, oh my gosh, that's awesome. If I said there was one device that is awesome, you know what I would tell you? The iPad. I just don't like writing on glass. I don't want to put a screen cover on it because I don't like even the feel of that, and I don't like the matte look when I'm watching movies. I use my iPad to consume media. That's what I use it for. I use it for the internet, to write a little bit. That's what I use it for. I don't want to use it for note taking. Can you get it done? Yes. If you like writing on glass, probably the best device you can get. I mean, the iPad is an amazing device. And of course, some Samsung tablets are great too. But we're talking specifically e-ink. So I would definitely, if you're watching this, I would suggest if you want a note taker, reMarkable 2 or the Papyr device. So if you've been watching my channel, there's also some new DES devices coming out. I don't have any faith in those. I'm going to tell you, until I get one in my hands, I don't want to recommend any of those because, again, from what I'm watching from the videos, the note taking on them is just not where it needs to be. I don't need another reader. You know, I have my iPad for that, and I have my Kobo Forma. What I look for in these devices is the best note-taking experience that I possibly could find. And yes, I carry two devices, but I love my reMarkable 2. I love the form factor of it. I can throw it in my bag. I take it out. I write my notes on it. It just works. I love my Papyr. Papyr's a little bit bigger, but it's thin. It's a nice form factor. When they get the new technology out, I'm telling you what, that software is just killer. And then when it comes to the others, they're just a little more complicated. Do they work? Yeah, they work. But for me, I just can't get into the Boox products yet. The software doesn't work that great for me, and the hardware is okay, but it's not a great note taker. So if you're looking for the note taker, those are my suggestions. And as always, what I'd like to hear from you is in the comments, because I've got amazing subscribers. I mean, we have people that are doing all kinds of things using all kinds of different devices. And we have some Boox people here that got some great stuff. And the other thing I would suggest, if you're really digging into this and trying to figure out what to buy, go subscribe to Voya at My Deep Guide. He's a little different than me in that he tears these devices down and really gets into them, and you can really get the technical stuff. If you're just looking for form and function, I'm giving you the best that I got right now. But if you want to get the tech stuff, just research reMarkable 2 versus the Onyx Boox Nova and just go over to My Deep Guide and you'll be able to get into the deeper specs. But just from a very basic perspective, reMarkable 2 Papyr, I right now, by far the best note takers on the market if you're looking for a note taker. If you're looking for a be-all, end-all device, I would recommend an iPad. If you kind of are in the middle and want to try to make e-ink work, then try the Boox devices. But really watch Voya's reviews on those so you really have a good feel for them. All right? As always, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me here at home in Parkland, Florida. It's just, it's a little warm today. It's overcast. Like I said, we have a tropical storm coming in. And for those of you that come to my events, this is where we hang, man. This is where this is where the magic happens. So as always, thanks so much for being a part of this. You guys rock, and thanks for the support of the channel here, and I will see you in the next video.